Imagine being a Turkish soldier at the border on high alert for an imminent ISIS threat, only to encounter something far more chilling. Picture this. A tranquil night on the Turkish-Syrian border is disrupted when the 4th Mechanized Infantry Brigade spots an unidentified figure attempting to cross the border. A potential threat, they think. As it crosses the border, they open fire, killing the intruder. But upon inspection, their blood runs cold. This was no human. This creature, this aberration, was something straight out of a horror film. Pale white, towering over the soldiers, it was abnormally thin, with a large head perched on its frail body. Razor-sharp teeth glistened in the soft glow of their torches, and claws that could tear through flesh were evident. But it was the eyes, those large black eyes, that truly struck terror into their hearts. Frantic, they report to their commander, who in turn contacts the higher command. What follows is as mysterious as the creature itself. An unmarked Chinook helicopter descends, carrying a high-ranking general of the Turkish armed forces and 2 men dressed in black suits. The creature is swiftly taken away, leaving the soldiers in a state of confusion and fear. Questions swirl around them, but there's no time for answers. The general turns to them, his voice firm and resolute. "This incident never happened," he orders. And just like that, the creature was gone, swept away by unmarked helicopters, leaving the soldiers with an incident they were ordered to forget. Yet, how does one forget an encounter so terrifying, so inexplicable? The command was clear, but the memory of that night lingers, etching itself into the minds of the soldiers, a chilling reminder of the unknown lurking in the dark. 2011, deep in the Colombian jungles, a special operations unit was in pursuit of a notorious cartel gang when they stumbled into a nightmare. In the heart of this lush yet unforgiving terrain, a group of 16 men from the Colombian Navy Special Operations Unit, known as BAFIM, were hot on the trail of a high-value cartel target. The pursuit was intense, the stakes high. Little did they know that the danger they were about to face was not of this world. As they advanced deeper into the jungle, the silent moonlit night erupted into a cacophony of gunfire. Rushing towards the sound, the team prepared for a firefight with the cartel. However, when they arrived at the scene, they were met with a spectacle far beyond their wildest fears. Instead of the cartel, they were faced with creatures of nightmare. Bat-winged humanoid beasts with a vampiric presence descended upon them. Their appearance was as horrifying as their actions, and in a blink of an eye, what was a pursuit turned into a fight for survival. The team fought valiantly, but the creatures were relentless. They swooped down from the trees, their claws slashing, teeth baring. The men's bullets seemed to merely slow them down. In the ensuing chaos, 4 of the BAFIM unit were killed. The rest of the team could only watch in horror as the creatures turned their attention to the cartel, leaving a trail of blood and death in their wake. When the dust settled, the team was left in shock. Their mission had taken a terrifying turn, their enemies no longer just the cartels, but creatures of the night that defied explanation. The jungle, once a battleground against human foes, had turned into a theater of supernatural horror. Soon after high-ranking officials arrived at the scene, the men were ordered to remain silent about the incident. The bodies of their fallen comrades, the cartel gang, and the creatures were quickly removed. The jungle returned to its deceptive tranquility, the night's horrors wiped away as if they had never happened. The unit was left with the haunting memory of their fallen comrades and a deadly encounter they were forbidden to speak of. In the cold mountainous regions of Sweden, a terrorist hunt exercise took an unexpected and terrifying turn. A group of Swedish Special Operations soldiers were in the throes of a joint training exercise with the US Navy SEALs. The mission was routine: hunt, track, neutralize. But that night, the prey was far from ordinary. As they moved stealthily through the icy terrain, the soldiers glimpsed strange figures in the darkness. Humanoid creatures standing 6 to 7 feet tall, with pointed snouts, ears, and long tails. Their yellow eyes glowed ominously, and their teeth and claws were sharp as daggers. Suddenly, the tranquil silence of the Swedish mountains was shattered by the roar of these creatures. The soldiers, trained to respond to threats, sprang into action. They had been using blank ammunition for the exercise, but now they hastily loaded their weapons with live rounds. A brutal standoff ensued, the air thick with tension and fear. Despite the terror gripping them, the soldiers fought back with unyielding courage. Their training kicked in and they managed to neutralize 3 of the creatures. But what happened next was equally, if not more, chilling. In the aftermath of the battle, the soldiers were met by a top-secret unit from the United States. Their identity was unknown, their purpose unclear. They swiftly collected the bodies of the creatures, leaving no trace of the horrifying encounter. The soldiers, still reeling from the ordeal, were given a stern order. This incident was to remain a secret. They were told to continue their training, to act as if nothing unusual had occurred. The soldiers were left with the chilling experience of an encounter they were ordered never to mention. As they returned to their routines, they carried with them the haunting memory of the Swedish standoff, a stark reminder of the unknown terrors that lurk in the shadows of our world. In the remote areas of Angola, a Spanish army mine-clearing team faced an explosive encounter of a different kind. It was the year 2017. In the sprawling wilderness of Angola, a team from the Spanish army was diligently carrying out their mission. Their task was both dangerous and essential, clearing mines from a remote area. It was a routine day, or so it seemed until an unexpected blast echoed through the landscape. The team, trained to react to the slightest hint of danger, immediately rushed towards the source of the explosion. Their minds were filled with dread, fearing that a local may have inadvertently triggered one of the deadly devices they were tasked to remove. But what they found at the blast site was far from anything they could have anticipated. There, in the dust and debris, lay a creature unlike any they had ever seen. It bore a striking resemblance to a hyena, but it was bipedal, possessing a humanoid form. The creature was dead, its life claimed by the very mine it had stepped on. The sight was chilling, leaving the experienced soldiers in a state of disbelief. As they were grappling with this unearthly discovery, authorities arrived at the scene. Their arrival was swift, their purpose clear. They took the corpse of the creature, leaving no trace of its existence. But their actions were not limited to just cleaning up. They turned to the stunned mine-clearing team, their faces stern and their words echoing in the silent wilderness. They instructed the team to continue their operation as if nothing had happened. The creature, they were told, had never been there. It was a command, an order to erase the incident from their minds. But how could they forget? The image of the creature, its life ended by a mine intended for humans, was etched in their memories. The team was left to carry on with their work, bearing the memory of a creature they were told never existed. Yet its existence was undeniable, a chilling reminder of the unknown dangers lurking in the shadows of our world. In the deep jungles of West Papua, an Indonesian Marines' routine recon mission turned into a terrifying ordeal. The Corps Marinier, Indonesia's Marine Corps, had dispatched a 12-man team from the 1st Marine Amphibious Recon Battalion for a reconnaissance mission. The task was routine, the atmosphere normal, until in a chilling turn of events their youngest member, a private first class just 18 years old, went missing. The team, seasoned and battle-hardened, immediately sprang into action, scouring the dense, dark jungle. The air was thick with fear as they called out for their missing comrade, their voices echoing eerily through the dense foliage. When they found him, it was a sight that would haunt them forever. The young Marine was running towards them, his face etched with terror, a fresh bite mark marring his neck. In shaky breaths, he recounted his encounter with a girl with razor-sharp teeth that had attacked him out of nowhere. The team, shocked into silence, could only stare at their young comrade, his story echoing in their ears, the reality of the situation sinking in. They left the jungle as fast as they could, their mission forgotten, their minds filled with the horror of what had just transpired. Back at base, their commander listened to their account, his face impassive. Then he did something they hadn't expected. He ordered them to suppress the incident to keep it under wraps. The team, still reeling from the shock, could only nod in agreement. The young Marine and his team were left with a terrifying experience they were ordered to suppress. A routine mission had turned into a nightmare, a chilling encounter they were forced to bury deep within them. This Indonesian nightmare, like others around the world, serves as a stark reminder of the unexplained horrors that lurk in the shadows, waiting, watching, and reminding us that we are not alone.